Hello, hello. Okay, let's continue reading this book. American agent of the Round Table. When Thompson returned to the United States, the man he selected to replace himself as head of the American Red Cross mission was his second in command, Roman Robbins. Not much is known about Robbins except that he was a protege of Cole at Warmander House, and he might have remained an obscure player in this drama had it not been for the fact that he became one of the central characters in Bruce Lockhart's book. It is here that we get this inside view. Another new acquaintance of these first days in Bolshevized St. Petersburg was Raymond Robbins, the head of the American Red Cross mission. He had been a leading figure in Roosevelt's bull-mouthed campaign for the American presidency in 1912. Although a rich man himself, he was an anti-capitalist. Hitherto, hitherto, his two heroes had been Roosevelt and Cecil Rhodes. Now Lenin had captured his imagination. Robin was the only man whom Lenin was always willing to see and whoever succeeded in imposing his own personality on the unemotional Bolshevik leader. In a less official sense, Robbins had a similar mission to my own. He was the intermediary between the Bolsheviks and the American government, and had set himself the task of persuading President Wilson to recognize the Soviet regime. What an amazing revolution is contained in these words. First, whether that Robbins was a leader in the team effort that, through the election of 1912 to Woodrow Wilson. Then we learned that he was an anti-capitalist. Third, we discovered that an anti-capitalist can hero worship Cecil Rhodes. Then we see the tremendous power he wielded over Lenin. And finally, we are told that although he was part of the private group financed by the Wall Street bankers, he was in reality the intermediary between the Bolsheviks and the American government. One will look in vain for a better summary. In vain, look in vain for a better summary. The fact that Cecil Rhodes was one of Robin's great heroes has special significance for this story. It was not merely an intellectual infatuation from the college days. On the night before he left Russia, Robbins dined with Lockhart. Describing the occasion, Lockhart said he had been reading Rawls' life, and after dinner he gave us a wonderful exposition of Rawls' character. Thus, both Lockhart and Robbins were dedicated disciples of Cecil Rhodes, and both were undoubtedly part of the international network to which Professor quickly alluded, possibly even members of the Round Table. Lockhart reported to the British group while Robbins reported to the American group, but both were clearly working for identical objectives and doing the work of the unseen hand. The Bolsheviks were well aware of the power this man represented, and there was no door closed to them. They were allowed to attend meetings of the Central Executive Committee and were consulted regarding important decisions. But perhaps the best way to appraise the extent of the influence these capitalists had over the anti-capitalists is to let Lockhart tell his own story. In his memoirs, he wrote, I returned from our interview to our flat to find an urgent message from Robbins requesting me to come to see him at once. I found him in a state of agitation, great agitation. He had been in conflict with Siokin, a nephew of Trotsky, and then assistant commissioner for foreign affairs. Siokin had been rude, and the American, who had a promise from Lenin that whatever happened, a train would always be ready for him at an hour's notice, was determined to exact an apology or to leave the country. When I arrived, he had just finished telephoning to Lenin. He had delivered his ultimatum, and Lenin had promised to give a reply within 10 minutes. I waited while Robbins fumed. Then the telephone rang and Robbins picked up the receiver. Lenin had capitulated. Capitulated. Capitulate. Capitulated. Second was dismissed from his post, but he was an old member of the party. Would Robbins have any objection if Lenin sent him as a Bolshevik emissary to Beam? Robbins smiled grimly. Thank you, Mr. Lenin, he said, as I can't send the son of a bitch to hell. Boom is the next best thing you can do with him. Such was the raw power over the leaders of communism that was concealed behind the innocent facade of the American Red Cross mission, and yet the world, even today, has no inkling of its reality. It has been a carefully guarded secret, and even many of those who were close to it were unable to see it. The assistant to William Thompson in Russia was Cornelius Kelleher. In later years, reflecting on the naivete, na, naive, naive, naivete, naivete, naive, naivete naivety of Dr. Franklin Billings, who was head of the mission's medical team. JEKYLL wrote, "Poor Miss Billings believed he was in charge of a scientific mission for the relief of Russia. He was, in reality, nothing but a mask. The Red Cross complexion of the mission was nothing but a mask. The purpose of a mask, of course, is to conceal." And so we are led to ask the question, what was behind the mask? What were the true motive, and goals of the masqueraders? Masquerade, masqueraders. We shall turn to that subject next. Summary: the Bolshevik Revolution was not a spontaneous, spontaneous, was not a spontaneous, 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 spontaneous uprising, uprising, uprising of the masses. It was planned, financed, and orchestrated by outsiders. Some of the financing came from Germany, which hoped that the internal problems would force Russia out of the war against her. But most of the money and leadership came from financiers in England and the United States. It was a perfect example of the Richfield formula in action. This group centered mainly around a secret society created by Cecil Rhodes, one of the world's wealthiest men at the time. The purpose of the group was nothing less than world domination, world domination. The meaning, domination, the meaning, and the establishment of a modern feudalist society controlled by the world's central banks, headquartered in England. The Rhodes innermost, the Rectorate. The Rectorate was called the Round Table. In other countries, there were establishment subordinate structures called Round Table Group. The Round Table Group in the United States became known as the Council on Foreign Relations, the CFR, which was initially dominated by JP Morgan and later by the Rockefellers. It's the most powerful group in America today. It is even more powerful than the federal government because almost all of the key positions in government are held by its members. In other words, it is the United States government. Agents of these two groups cooperated closely in pre-revolutionary Russia and particularly after the Tsar was overthrown. The American contingent contingent to be contingent in Russia disguised itself as a Red Cross mission, allegedly doing humanitarian work. Humanitarian, human, humanitarian, humanitarian, humanitarian work, crushing in on one another when their close friendship with Lenin, Trotsky and Lenin, they obtained profitable business concessions from the new government, which returned their initial investment many times over. Above is the Records mission in Moscow shortly after the Bolshevik Revolutionary. George Andrews and Robbins, along with the Howard Hardy, under the pretense of the humanitarianism and the mission's key personnel was Wall Street financiers following their own agenda for acquiring profitable commercial concessions from the new government. They heavily financed all factions of the revolutionary movement to be sure of gaining influence with whatever group should come out on top. Below is a cablegram from JP Morgan to Random Thompson, head of the Red Cross mission, prior to Robbins advising that $1 million had been transferred to Thompson via a national city bank. There were many such infusions of capitalist money into the new communist regime. The process continues to this day. Okay, chapter 14, the best enemy money can buy. The coup date in Russia, in which the Bolshevik minority seized control from the revolutionary majority. The role played with the New York financiers masquerading as Red Cross officials in supporting the Bolsheviks. The unbroken record since then of American assistance in building Russia's war-making potential. The emergence of a credible enemy in accordance with the Rothschild formula. OK，293。Okay, well. Okay, I think that's all for today. Tomorrow we will read a new chapter, chapter 14. Rush 2 Revolution. Popular support was not necessary. Notes from Lincoln Stephen's diary. Walls behind the mask. Additional background. The deaf mute blind man. A side trip through World War II. The transfusion mechanism, transfusion mechanism. Oh. The new alchemy, 炼金术 alchemy. Fifth reason to abolish the system. Summary. The Bolshevik Revolution was a cooperative in which a radical minority captured the Russian cabinet from the moderate revolutionary majority. They accomplished this through deception, organization, discipline, the decline, discipline, discipline, and surprise. The Red Cross mission of the New York financiers through support to the Bolsheviks and in return received economic rewards in the form of rights of Russia to Russia's natural resources plus contracts for constructions and supplies. The continued participation in the economic development of Russia and Eastern Europe since that time indicates that this relationship has survived to the present day. These financiers are not pro-communists or pro-anything else. Their motivation is to profit and power. They are now working to bring both Russia and the United States into a world government in which they expect to control. War and the threats of war are tools to prod the masses toward the acceptance of that goal. It is essential, therefore, that the United States and the industrialized nations of the world have credible enemies. As these words are being written, Russia is wearing the mask of peace and cooperation, but we have seen that before. We may yet see a return of the evil empire when the timing is right. U.S. government and mega bank funding, first of Russian and now of Chinese and Middle East military capabilities, can't be understood without this insight. Section 6. A tale of these facts. It has been said that those who are ignorant of the history are doomed to repeat this mistake. It may come as a surprise to learn that the Federal Reserve System is the America's fourth central bank, not its first. We have been through all this before, and each time the result has been the same. Instead, interested in what happened then, let's set a coordinate of our time machine to the colony of Massachusetts and the year of 1690 to activate. Turn the page. Lost treasure map. Oh my goodness. Okay. 3. The new alchemy, a tale of this is 4. A tale of 3 banks, the best enemy man can buy. Mastery in Moscow. The lost treasure map. The creature comes to America, a den of vipers, loaves and fishes and civil war, greenbacks and other crabs. 5. The harvest. Monetary and political scientists continue to expound the theoretical merits of the Federal Reserve. It has become a modern act of the faith that economic life simply could not go on without. But at the time of theory passed, the creature moved into its final layer and snorted and thrashed about the landscape ever since. If we wish to know if it is a creature of service or best prey, we merely have to look at what it has done, and after the test of all those years, we can be sure that what it has done and will continue to do, or to use the biblical axiom, a tree shall be known by the fruit it bears. Let us now examine the harvest. The London connection. Competition is a sin. The creature swallows Congress. The great dark dinner. Time travel into the future. Photographs appendix. 6, 5, 4. Okay, over here. The best enemy money can buy. Okay, okay, I think that's all for today. See you tomorrow. Bye bye. See you. Bye bye.